Electric acid.
I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So then I'm doing IT, and when I go to plug the servers in, they become sentient, and they won't let us access our network unless we forward their chain emails and memes to more and more and more people, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant finds and invites best-fit candidates to apply, so you can discover talent you may have missed. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
What up? This is Interview Style, where we talk about whatever we want to talk about. Today, Iris, you're going to have to bear with me because it's about your boy.
How is Steven Spielberg my boy?
He's everybody's boy. We love that dude. He's massively influential. Of filmmakers, as filmmakers go, no one was more influential on my childhood, whether it be producing or directing. What's your problem?
I like Steven Spielberg. I'm just saying he's probably more ya boy than my boy.
Well, that's the problem. He kind of was my boy. Now, in terms of box office, Spielberg is in the middle of a decades-long slump. We'll see what happens with his announcement day.
You mean Golden Globe winning Best Picture Golden Globe winning Steven Spielberg is in a slump?
Yes, I'm sorry to say. But bear with me here. The thing I want to talk about today is this idea that Spielberg might be kind of a punk, and I wanted to bounce this off of you, which has been stirring and giving me some unrest for a while now. Does he hold personal grudges? Remember a movie called Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
Oh, who can forget Shia LaBeouf's great vine-swinging scene?
Shia LaBeouf was clearly being positioned by Spielberg to be a potential successor for when Harrison Ford inevitably ages out of that role. And he almost, spoiler for that movie, he almost literally picks up the hat and continues the adventures of Indiana Jones, and then doesn't, because Harrison Ford was going to, and indeed was, back for one more entry. Shia LaBeouf fell out of favor with Steven Spielberg. He was also in the Spielberg-produced Eagle Eye, but he fell out of favor because during the promotion for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Shia LaBeouf said that it wasn't very good, and that really pissed Spielberg off, who supposedly told him or someone, and I quote, "Sometimes you just gotta sell cars." And what that implies to me is that Spielberg tried to sell a lemon as a shady used car salesman and did not like the fact that Shia spoke his mind. Is Shia LaBeouf maybe a little bit off? Yeah, but he was also right. Is it fair that Spielberg cut him off? We talked about War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise and Steven Spielberg were serious buds for a good while there. What did they do? War of the Worlds, Minority Report.
Buying each other sports cars and motorcycles.
Yeah. And then he disappeared. Tom Cruise and Steven Spielberg, he disappeared from Steven Spielberg movies, or maybe learned to eclipse or outshine Steven Spielberg, supposedly because of the Oprah couch jumping incident during the promotion for Mission Impossible 3. Tom Cruise lost it a little bit. His public persona was shaken, and Spielberg was like, okay, all done with that dude. So he cast him off. Julia Roberts was going through some stuff on Hook way back in 1990, and Spielberg referred to her as Tinker Hell, and the nickname stuck throughout the crew. She may have been difficult, but he never worked with her again. Megan Fox on Transformers, which Spielberg produced, said Michael Bay was really mean to her. She likened him to a Nazi. Michael Bay called Steven Spielberg and said, "What should I do?" And he said, "Well, fire her. Fire her, get rid of her." And Megan Fox left the Transformers franchise, was replaced by a supermodel or something. And okay, Steven Spielberg has experience with Nazis and made Schindler's List and stuff, and felt that wasn't fair. Didn't like that at all. Okay, is it a little bit too personal or grudgy though, to sever these kinds of ties? I also heard that Steven Spielberg, his Amblin, options an awful lot of books and scripts. And if you're a writer and you get optioned by Spielberg, you're like, oh my God, my life is going to change forever.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of properties he acquires never see the light of day for possibly two reasons. One, he wants to save good stuff for himself to try to fit it into his schedule, but two, to prevent other people from making movies, which he sees as good ideas and could be potential competition.
Sure. Blocking other people.
That's really crappy.
Or blocking even the projects themselves so that he can shelve them.
And the option can be good money, but it's nothing like what Ready Player One would do for book sales and possibly sequels and stuff like that. It's a little bit like Interview with the Vampire. Anne Rice railed on Tom Cruise being cast as Lestat, and that the idea that he was such a big movie star would detract from her very serious vampire book. However it goes, Interview with the Vampire did passably well, but Tom Cruise never returned for a sequel and pretty much derailed the entire franchise movie-wise, at least back in the 90s. We never saw the full breadth of the Vampire Chronicles. The point I'm trying to make is that Steven Spielberg has a vast amount of power, or at least he did, and he can move and act in a way that benefits him. He's a big deal. And he can, and it seems does, throw his weight around a little bit. And I wondered, is that mean? Is he kind of a punk? Or is it more of a Bee Gees style, you're nice, but you're also a celebrity, and you know your worth, and you're not going to let anyone push you around? Does he just have the weight and is guided by his perceived morality so that when someone slights him, he steers the light away from that person? Not in a Harvey Weinstein threatening kind of way. But does he just have so much power that when his favorable gaze is shifted off you just a little bit, you kind of flounder?
Yeah, and his current golden child appears to be Chloe Zhao, and let's hope that she continues to.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he gave her, like, nothing could have set her up better for her Golden Globe Best Picture winning speech than an introduction from Steven Spielberg himself, saying that there was no other filmmaker on the planet that could have directed Hamnet.
Wow, I did not see that. This is from the Golden Globes?
This was on the Golden Globes. And
see, I didn't watch that ceremony because the Golden Globes don't mean anything.
Well, it meant something to Hamnet, which is opening wider and amping up their whole awards strategy and awards campaign. You know, people might still be confused why it's not called Hamlet, but they're going to see it. So, you know, and I could feel my defenses coming down as you rattled off example after example. Now, Steven Spielberg, like anybody, is entitled to not work with whoever they don't want to work with. That being said, is it spiteful? And does that spite kind of come from his ability to kind of wield power and with the idea that people in powerful positions have a certain amount of responsibility? You know, he sets a certain example, I guess, for the industry. He is looked up to in his leadership, management, you know, kind of elder statesman style. In a world where I'd like to see decorum mean something, I would hope that the luminaries in our industry could set great examples. He's a little bit like Leonardo DiCaprio in that we don't really know, do we really know much about him personally? But these examples that you gave are really telling. And I guess I would just hope and encourage Steven Spielberg, if I could be so bold, you know, to use his power and his prominence responsibly.
Blanket advice for the entire world or anyone in any position of power. I do want to note, though, that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Shia's prediction, not prediction, but it came to be true, generally regarded as the least good of the Indiana Jones movies. But I don't think his comment is what's kicked off this kind of refusal to acknowledge that movie as canon, as one of the true Indiana Jones movies. It wasn't because he said it. And also, Megan Fox widely regarded to be correct in her assessment that Michael Bay is kind of a punk and very mean. And so when she was fired, maybe there was some legitimacy. This was, of course, also before Me Too and all that kind of stuff. Regardless, we love you, Steven Spielberg. Please sponsor us. And because we could be Chloe Zhao. I could have directed Hamnet.
What is the warning? Never meet your heroes. They only will disappoint you.
Right, it's true, but I'm going to substitute heroes for people. In general, people will disappoint you. Guard yourself against that.
Aww. They will also bring light and life and love into your life.
Yep. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Hi, it's me, Flo, the annoying clairvoyant from Ghost Hampton, the podcast. We had the time of our lives, or in my case, death, giving all our listeners the willies this summer. You missed Ghost Hampton? No, we can't allow that. Now, all episodes of Ghost Hampton are running on Electricast Media everywhere for free. Ghost Hampton, go there to be frightened. Stay there to laugh. Electricast.